Hello everyone, this is Natasha Singh. In this presentation, I will talk about the impact of surface viscosity on droplet deformation and weight. Membrane modifiers, for instance, surface active agents or surfactants, are often added to emulsions to tailor them for applications in industry and bioscience. Lipid bilayers, polymer blends, vesicles, capsules, and polymersomes are some of the examples of fluid particles with complex interfaces, that is, interfaces whose mechanics cannot be described solely by surface tension effects. From the modeling point of view, these complex fluid particles can be viewed as liquid droplets with a viscoelastic membrane of an adsorbed layer of surfactants, polymers, and proteins to capture the mechanics of the system. When a single clean droplet, that is a droplet with no surfactant on its surface, is placed in an external viscous fluid, it deforms as the external flow rate is increased. In this, two situations can arise. First, the droplet deforms under flow and attains a stable shape at a given shear rate and there is no burst. Second, the droplet keeps on deforming and finally breaks apart. There is extensive literature available on deformation and breakup of clean droplets. The diverse practical application of the droplet deformation and breakup studies in industries and bioscience have been the motivation behind many of the earlier research done in this area. When surface active agents are added, three primary effects occur. First is the lowering of surface tension and surface energy. Second is inhomogeneous surfactant distribution on the droplet surface. And third is change in interfacial rheology due to viscoelasticity of the membrane. The first two effects have been widely studied for simple surfactant in the context of droplet breakup. The third effect, that is the impact of surface viscoelasticity, is less explored. For emulsions with more exotic surface active and polymeric agents, the interface cannot be represented solely by surface tension effects, and interfacial viscosities and elasticity becomes essential. In some situations, the presence of concentrated layer of insoluble surfactant on surface of the droplet can lead to large degree of viscous dissipation on the interface. This viscous dissipation is due to high surface viscosity, which results from the in-plane friction that arises when the molecular component on the interface slide over each other. The focus of the study is to understand how the surface dissipation alters droplet deformation and breakup. Using the Boussinesq-Scriven constitutive relationship, the viscous droplet interface can be treated as a two-dimensional surface having surface viscosities, that is, a surface shear viscosity eta mu and a surface dilation viscosity eta k. When placed under flow, the deformable membrane will be sheared and compressed due to the fluid motion. Physically, the surface shear viscosities are the resistances to shearing and compression of the surface. In the problem setup, a single droplet of radius r is suspended in an immiscible unbounded fluid. The viscosity of the fluid interior to the droplet is lambda eta and exterior to the droplet is eta. The interface has a constant surface shear viscosity eta mu, a constant dilational viscosity eta k, and constant surface tension. The analysis presented is valid for Stokes law and for small deformation of the droplets from the initial spherical shape. In the traction boundary condition, that is force balance on the interface, in case of clean droplets, the viscous traction jump from the fluid flow balances the traction from surface tension. But for droplets with surfactants on the interface, there are additional resistances to deformation from shearing and compression of the surface. And now the traction from surface tension and interfacial viscosities balances the traction from external flow. The objective of this study is to investigate the effect of surface viscosities on droplet deformation and breakup. For this, we assume a homogeneous distribution of surfactant over the surface. Surface concentration inhomogeneities can be neglected when either adsorption is stronger than surface convection and desorption, or when surface diffusion of surfactant is much stronger than the surface convection. Second is the dominant effect of surface viscosities. Certain small molecular weight surfactants and some proteins like beta-casein form predominantly viscous interfaces showing weak elastic behavior. And third is small distortions. For this study, we will isolate the effect that surface viscosities can play in droplet break. The important dimensionless parameters for the problem setup are viscosity ratio lambda, capillary number, Boussinesq parameter for surface shear and surface dilational viscosity. The Boussinesq parameter measures the relative importance of surface viscous stresses to the bulk viscous stresses. The typical range of the parameters that are explored in this study are also listed here. These represent the practical values of these parameters found in some experimental studies. The flow field and the radius can be expanded in terms of the small parameter, that is the capillary number. Expanding up to these terms gives the first order analysis. Adding additional terms gives the second order analysis. Here we adapt the methodology of Parshall-Peasel and Akrios to examine droplet breakup in the presence of surface viscosities using second order perturbation theory. Upon solving the flow equations and boundary conditions using perturbation expansion, the radius of the deformed droplet can be represented by this equation. In this equation, the first term, that is Rs equals 1, represents the equation of the surface of an undeformed droplet. The second term gives order capillary ellipsoidal correction, and the third term gives the order capillary square correction that contains second and fourth order harmonics. The theory developed here is valid for any general flow, but here we will discuss droplet breakup for two common linear flows, that is the extensional and simple shear flow. First, I'll discuss the results for extensional flow. The plot of one of the component of deformation tensor versus capillary number results in turning point bifurcation curve. As we move along increasing capillary number, the steady-state solution reduces from 1 or 2 to 0. The capillary number at the turning point represents the critical capillary number. If the flow rate is increased beyond this point, the droplet will extend indefinitely and will break apart as there is no steady-state solution to the droplet shape. The critical capillary number also separates the curve into two parts, a lower stable branch represented by bold lines and an upper unstable branch represented by dashed lines that gives unrealistic droplet shape. This plot shows the dependence of critical capillary number on viscosity ratio lambda for a clean droplet under extensional flow. From this plot, we can see that the critical capillary number decreases as the viscosity ratio lambda increases. This implies that lower viscosity ratio droplets, for instance, air and vapor bubbles in water, would attain stable shapes even at elevated extension rates when compared to higher viscosity ratio drops like oil droplets in water. The small internal viscous resistance seems to support highly elongated stable droplet shapes under flow. In the next two slides, we will discuss how the presence of interfacial viscosity impacts the dependence of critical capillary number on viscosity ratio. This plot shows the dependence of critical capillary number on viscosity ratio lambda for increasing values of Boussinesq dilation parameter. Upon increasing PQK, the critical capillary number decreases and the droplet breaks at a relatively lower capillary number compared to a clean droplet. The second plot here shows the schematic of the mechanism behind reduced stability. When a droplet stretches under flow, there is dilation at the droplet's equator and compression at the droplet's pole. If dilation resistance is present, the compression pattern at the surface induces a counterflow that results in reduced fluid circulation inside the droplet. This reduced circulation increases droplet deformation compared to a clean droplet at the same capillary number and viscosity ratio. The isolated impact of surface shear viscosity can be examined through this plot. Upon increasing the shear Boussinesq parameter, that is BQ mu, the droplet breaks up at a larger capillary number compared to a clean droplet at the same viscosity ratio lambda. The reason for the enhanced stability limit of a droplet with surface shear viscosity can be attributed to its reduced deformation and increased internal circulation compared to a clean droplet at a given capillary number and viscosity ratio. Next, we will discuss the results for shear flow. A simple shear flow can be seen as a combination of extension and rotation. The dependence of critical capillary number on viscosity ratio lambda for a clean droplet subjected to shear flow is quite different from what was observed for extension flow. In shear flow, very low and very high viscosity ratio droplets are found to be stable to small perturbation. The reason why low viscosity ratio droplets have a very large critical capillary number is the same as discussed earlier for extensional flow. That is, steady high elongation of the droplet is achievable when the droplet interior has small viscous resistance. But for very high internal viscosity of the droplet, because of the non-zero vorticity effects, the droplet rotates towards the flow axis and does not deform much upon increasing the flow rate, essentially behaving as a rigid body. Also, the red dots in this plot represent the data from an experimental study. As we can see, the experimental results for shear flow do not match with the theory particularly well. This is generally the case for perturbation theory since the critical capillary numbers for experiments in shear flow are often larger than the values in which the theories are strictly valid, that is capillary number much less than 1. However, the theories capture the qualitative trends in the droplet breakup reasonably well. This plot shows the dependence of critical capillary number on viscosity ratio lambda for increasing values of Boussinesq dilation parameter. Here also, the dilation viscosity has a destabilizing impact. Upon increasing the dilation Boussinesq parameter, the critical capillary number decreases and the range of lambda for which the critical capillary number is observed becomes larger. From this plot, we can see that the dilation viscosity also reduces the deformation at the breakup point. For clean droplet at very low viscosity ratios, the droplet was highly elongated at its critical point, but here it appears to be a mildly deformed spheroid at the critical point when the Boussinesq parameter equals 5. This plot shows the dependence of critical capillary number on viscosity ratio lambda for increasing value of surface shear Boussinesq parameter. Upon increasing the surface shear viscosity, the critical capillary number increases, and the range of lambda for which the critical capillary is observed gets smaller. The mechanism behind the enhanced stability is similar to what we discussed for extensional flow. In this study, we presented the conditions for breakup of a droplet with viscous surface moduli under the assumption of weak flow and negligible Marangoni forces. For all the flows considered, we observed that the dilation viscosity has a destabilizing impact, that it lowers the critical capillary number compared to clean droplet at the same viscosity ratio, while the impact of surface shear viscosity is stabilizing, that it increases the critical capillary number compared to clean droplet at the same viscosity ratio. Thank you for your attention. I'm looking forward to answering your questions in the Q&A session on Tuesday.